they're wearing all this drag, and they were like some big dudes or girls, whatever. Anyways, and then I went to the bathroom, and one of them like followed me into the bathroom and like tried like touched me and like some sus shit, like on some weird shit. And I literally had to like dip out the bathroom, like boom, dip out the bathroom. I was like, what the fuck? And I literally left this house, and I was like tripping at that point. I was like, what the fuck? This fool was on some really weirdo shit, sicko shit. Anyways, and so I'm like leaving this house, and at this point my phone was dead. I didn't know where I was, and I was just like all weirded out from the situation that just happened. And so I was just mobbing, like I was just walking for a minute. And I was trying to like, I flagged down a couple taxis, and then essentially didn't like, nobody wanted to give me a ride. I had no money, like I was just broke. I was just a kid type shit. I was probably like 16. Anyways, so I had no money and shit, and I just kept walking, and I walked for like a good couple hours, and I ended up like just in the hood, like in the middle of nowhere. And that's when shit got like real weird. And I like was walking down this like street, and then like this chick came out the alleyway, and like fucking like fully covered in like her whole face was covered in tattoos and shit. She was a big lady, and she was like, oh, like where are you going and shit, you shouldn't be walking around here at night, yada yada. And then she goes like this, like boom boom boom, and like these two cars like flick their headlights on and fucking like boom boom boom, like drive down right to where we are. And I was like, oh fuck. And then they put me in one of the cars and shit, in like the back car. And I was,
How'd they get you in the car?
Bro, because I was I wasn't gonna like say nah, because there was hella like big fools.
Hell no, bro.
And I was like, nah, because I had a bad leg. Like I got a bad leg. I can't really run like that. Like I couldn't run back then. Like that was before I had like, I've been doing physio for a few years because I'd snapped my leg really bad. And anyways, I couldn't really run like that. And there's all these big fools, and they like were like, nah, get in the back car. And I was like,
they could have raped you.
And I was like, fuck it. And
so they said get in the car?
Yeah. And I was like, fuck. And I was standing there, and they were standing there, and like these two cars, and they were like pointing at the back car, and I was like, fuck it, alright. And so I got in the car, and yeah, it was all bad.
What
like,
happened after that?
It was some sus shit, like.
They touched you?
Nah. We were like driving, and they were like following the car in front of them, and they were like, oh yeah, we're going to their house or some shit. And I was like, hell no. I was like, anyways, and they was like not trying to let me out the car and shit, and it was some
What
weird.
were you saying to them? Like,
bro, I wasn't saying much, bro. I was just like, hey, can we pull over? Can I leave? Like this sort of shit. And they're like, nah, like we're going to their house. Like, be quiet and shit. And
so they're gonna like cut you open.
I don't know. I don't know all that far ahead. You know what I mean? Like I don't really like to think about everything else, like some shit. But anyways, they was like following the car, and then like I don't know, by like the grace of God or some shit, like the car like ended up fucking like, I don't know, not running out of gas, but I guess they were like low enough, like on E or some shit, and they're like, oh, we gotta pull over to get some gas. And so they peeled off from the other car and like pulled over to get some gas, and they were like, oh, wait in here, like underneath the pumps. And they had jumped out the car, and I was in the car with like I was in the car, one person next to me and like one person in the front, and like they were like, oh, stay here, all this shit. And I was like, and locked the car doors, and I was sitting there, and I was like, oh fuck. And the front window, like the driver's side window, was like halfway down. And so I just fucking like, oh, the person next to me actually, like, because there was a few, like one person next to me and then one person over there, and the person next to me was like all fucked up, like they were like out of it and shit, like fading in and out. And the person in the front was like just not paying attention or whatever, and like real like discreetly, like real quietly, I just like unbuckled my seatbelt, and I was like, just let that shit go like that, and then I just straight jumped from like the one corner of the car, like dove out the front window. I was like halfway down or a little more. I just dove out that bitch like that, like looking almost like an Olympic like swimmer. Just dove out that, got out the car, and then they was all yelling like, hey, and I just took off at that point. That's when I ran, like, and I straight like I fucked my leg up running away. Anyways, but
kidnapped.
But I was straight running.
Were they chasing you?
Nah, bro, it was not chasing.
Damn.
Nah,
This was here?
this was in New Zealand. This
Oh,
is when I was in
New
high
Zealand.
school. This is just one.
Oh,
this is
shit.
one story from high school.
Good fuck.
Anyways, and I just ran, bro, and like I ran for a hot minute, bro, and until I like my body was giving out, and I was like by this park, like walked through this park, and then by like another really fucking lucky thing ended up happening. Like I ended up seeing the sign for like where this area that I was entering was.
What do you think those people were gonna do to you?
I don't know, bro. Just take me to the gang house and fuck with me or some shit. I don't know. Some shit.
They
Some
could have
shit.
like molested you or like killed you,
Yeah.
or like turned you into like a
Yeah.
sex slave or some shit.
Yeah, honestly.
Funny, Jay in the sex slave.
Yeah, I mean, thank God nothing like that happened, you know? Because that should be happening around the world, you know?
Yeah.
You fuck around and find out, you know? Like, I was walking in the wrong area, the wrong time, and someone swooped me up like that. Happens pretty quick.